Okay, guys, we are going to read more of the one and only Ivan today. We started the chapter Gone, but we didn't quite finish it, so I'm going to start it again now. Some animals live privately, unwatched, but that is not my life. My life is flashing lights and pointing fingers and uninvited visitors. Inches away, humans flatten their little hands against the wall of glass that separates us. The glass says you are this and we are that, and that is how it will always be. Humans leave their fingerprints behind, sticky with candy, slick with sweat. Each night, a wary man comes to wipe them away. Sometimes I press my nose against the glass. My nose print, like your fingerprint, is the first and last and only one. The man wipes the glass, and then I'm gone. Here in my domain, I do not have much to do. You can only throw so many balls at humans before you get bored. And so this is the kind of the gross part, but it's kind of funny, right? And this is something that monkeys do. So he calls a me ball, right? And a me ball is when he rolls up his poop until it's the size of an apple, and then he throws it at the glass. Isn't that so gross? But that's something that monkeys do. Right? So, and he's a gorilla, so that kind of makes sense. Yes, Josiah? No, let's keep that on. I think it's good. Thank you, though. For some reason, my visitors never seem to carry any meatballs. Not right now. Hobby's in there. In my domain, I have a tire swing, a baseball, a tiny plastic pool filled with dirty water, and even an old TV. I have a stuffed toy gorilla, too. That's like a stuffed animal, but he looks like a gorilla. Julia, the daughter of the wary man who cleans them all each night, gave it to me. The gorilla has empty eyes and floppy limbs, but I sleep with it every night, and I call it Not Tag. Remember we learned about Not Tag? So Julia gave him this stuffed animal, and the stuffed animal is called Not Tag. At the beginning of this book, the very beginning, this book says, for Julia. And now we know Julia is a character in the book, too. Not Tag. Tag was my twin sister's name. We have two twins in here. We have Uriel and we have Janelle. So what is a twin? Can one of you guys tell me what a twin is? OCL or Uriel? Uriel, do you want to tell me what a twin is? They might look like you. You guys were born on the same day, right? So he has a twin. Yeah. You gonna say that? He has a twin, and his twin is named Tag. So it's Ivan and Tag. And his twin is also a gorilla. So he has a stuffed animal, and he calls it Not Tag. Because it looks like Tag, but it's not Tag. Get it? And Tag is his sister, his twin sister. So Julia is 10 years old. She has hair like black glass and a wide half-moon smile. She and I have a lot in common. We are both great apes, and we are both artists. It was Julia who gave me my first crayon, a stubby blue one, slipped through the broken spot in my glass along with a folded piece of paper. So he got a little crayon and a piece of paper, and what do you think he started to do with it? I knew what to do with it. I'd watched Julia draw. When I dragged the crayon across the paper, it left a trail in its wake like a slithering blue snake. Julia's drawings are wild with color and movement. She draws things that aren't real, clouds that smile, and cars that swim. She draws until her crayons break and her paper rips. Her pictures are like pieces of a dream. I can't draw dreamy pictures. I never remember my dreams, although I sometimes awaken with my fists clenched and my heart hammering. Remember when we talked about our emotions? So he has these dreams, and he wakes up and his fists are together and his heart is beating. How do you think he was feeling?
Inside out.
Yeah, what do you think? If his fists are clenched, what do you think? How do you think he's feeling?
Mad.
Maybe mad, or your heart's beating.
Angry.
Mad or scared. I think it might be one of those. My drawings seem pale and timid next to Julia's. She draws the ideas in her head. I draw the things in my cage. Simple items that fill my days: an apple core, a banana peel, a candy wrapper. I often eat my subjects before I draw them. But even though I draw the same things over and over and over again, I never get bored with my art. When I'm drawing, that's all I think about. I don't think about where I am, about yesterday or tomorrow. I just move my crayons across the paper. Humans don't always seem to recognize what I've drawn. They squint, cock their heads, murmur. I'll draw a banana, a perfectly lovely banana, and they'll say, "It's a yellow airplane," or "It's a duck without wings." That's all right. I'm not drawing for them. I'm drawing for me. Mac soon realized that people will pay for pictures made by a gorilla, even if they don't know what it is. Now, I draw every day. My work sells for $20 a piece, $25 with a frame, at the gift shop near my domain. If I get tired and need a break, I just eat my crayons. And these are some of his drawings. They're kind of, it's hard to tell what they are, but he's still working on it, right? I think I've always been an artist. Even as a baby, still clinging to my mom, I had an artist's eye. I saw shapes in the clouds and sculptures in the tumbled stones at the bottom of a stream. I grabbed at colors, the crimson flower just out of reach, the ebony bird streaking past. I don't remember much about my childhood, but I do remember this. Whenever I got the chance, I would dip my fingers into cool mud and use my mother's back as a canvas. So he would draw on his mom's back with mud, right? She was a patient soul, my mother. Someday, I hope I can draw the way Julia draws, imagining worlds that don't yet exist. I know what most humans think. They think gorillas don't have imaginations. They think we don't remember our past or ponder our futures. Come to think of it, I suppose they have a point. Mostly, I think about what it is and not what could be. I've learned not to get my hopes up. This chapter is called The Loneliest Gorilla in the World. What's lonely mean? Janelle. Right? Were you going to say something along the lines? When you're by yourself, sometimes you get lonely, right? When the big top mall was first built, it smelled of new paint and fresh hay, and humans came to visit from morning till night. They drifted past my domain like logs on a lazy river. Lately, a day might go by without a single visitor. Max says he's worried. He says I'm not cute anymore. He says, "Ivan, you've lost your magic, old guy. You used to be a hit." It's true that some of my visitors don't linger the way they used to. They stare through the glass, they cluck their tongues, and they frown while I watch my TV. He looks lonely, they say. Not long ago, a little boy stood before my glass, tears streaming down his smooth red cheeks. He must be the loneliest gorilla in the world, he said, clutching his mom's hand. At times like that, I wish humans could understand me the way I can understand them. It's not so bad, wanted to tell the little boy. With enough time, you can get used to almost anything. Why is he the loneliest gorilla in the world? Stella's there, right? The elephant. But why is he the loneliest gorilla? Enrique, were you going to say something like that? There's only one gorilla in the zoo. If you were the only kid in it, would you be kind of lonely? If you were surrounded by dogs and cats, but you were only one human, you'd be a little lonely. Yes, Hobby?
It's like some sadness from inside out.
Mm-hmm. My visitors are often surprised when they see the TV. Mac puts it in my domain. They seem to find it odd, the sight of a gorilla staring at tiny humans in a box. Sometimes I wonder, though, isn't the way that they stare at me sitting in my tiny box just as strange? My TV is old, it doesn't always work, and sometimes days will go by before anyone turns it on for me. I'll watch anything, but I'm particularly fond of cartoons with their bright jungle colors. I especially enjoy it when someone slips on a banana peel. Bob, remember how the second book is called Bob? Bob, my dog friend, loves TV almost as much as I do. Josiah, put your pencils up, please. He prefers to watch professional bowling and cat food commercials. Bob and I have seen many romantic movies too. In a romance, there is much hugging and sometimes face licking. I have yet to see a single romance starring a gorilla. We also enjoy old Western movies. In a Western, someone says, "This town ain't big enough for both of us, Sheriff." And in a Western, you can tell who the good guys are and who the bad guys are. And the good guys always win. Bob says Westerns are nothing like real life. I have been in my domain for 9,855 days alone. For a while, when I was young and foolish, I thought I was the last gorilla on earth. I tried not to dwell on it. Still, it's hard to stay upbeat when you think there are no more of you. Then one night, after I watched a movie about men in black hats with guns and feeble-minded horses, a different show came on. It was not a cartoon, not a romance, not a Western. I saw a lush forest. I heard birds murmuring. The grass moved. The trees rustled. Then I saw him. He was a bit threadbare and scrawny and not as good looking as I am, to be honest. But sure enough, he was a gorilla. So he saw another gorilla on TV. As suddenly as he appeared, the gorilla vanished, and in his place was a scruffy white animal called, I learned, a polar bear, and then a chubby water creature called a manatee, and then another animal and another. All night, I sat wondering about the gorilla I'd glimpsed. Where did he live? Would he ever come to visit me? If there was a he somewhere, could there be a she as well? Or was it just the two of us in the world, trapped in our own separate boxes? Stella. And who is Stella? Who is Stella? Who remembers who Stella is? Good job. Stella is the elephant. Stella says she is sure I will see another real-life gorilla someday, and I believe her because she is even older than I am, and her eyes are like black stars and knows more than I will ever know. Stella is a mountain. Next to her, I am a rock, and Bob is a grain of sand. And who is Bob? The dog. Every night when the stores close and the moon washes the world with milky light, Stella and I talk. We don't have much in common, but we have enough. We are huge and alone, and we both love yogurt raisins. Sometimes Stella tells stories of her childhood, of leafy canopies hidden by mist and the busy songs of flowing water. Unlike me, she can recall every detail of her past. Stella loves the moon with its untroubled smile. I love the feeling of the sun on my belly. She says, "It is quite a belly, my friend," and I say, "Thank you, and so is yours." We talk, but not too much. Elephants, like gorillas, do not waste words. Stella used to perform in a large and famous circus, and she still does some of those tricks for our show. During one stunt, Stella stands on her hind legs while Snickers jumps on her head. It's hard to stand on your hind legs when you weigh more than 40 men. If you are a circus elephant and you stand on your hind legs while a dog jumps on your head, you get a treat. If you do not, the claw stick comes swinging. That's something that we haven't heard about before, the claw stick. I wonder what a claw stick is. Elephant hide. A hide is like their skin, right? So elephant skin is thick as bark on an ancient tree, but a claw stick can pierce it like a leaf. Once Stella saw a trainer hit a bull elephant with a claw stick. A bull is like a silverback, noble, contained, calm, like a cobra is calm. When the claw stuck caught in the bull's flesh, he tossed the trainer into the air with his tusk. The man flew, Stella said, like an ugly bird, and she never saw the bull again. Okay, so a claw stick is like something, it's like some form of punishment. Because when she messes up, she gets a claw stick. But we don't really know what a claw stick is. But we know it's not something good, right? And it says it can pierce their skin. So it must hurt them, right? I guess we'll have to see about that. Yes, Manuel?
I think it's like a thing where they really smack them with a thing that really hurts. That's a whip. And it smacks them.
It might be something like that, yeah. I guess we'll have to see. I think you're on to something, though. Stella's trunk, you know elephant trunks, right? Stella's trunk is a miracle. She can pick up a single peanut with elegant precision, tickle a passing mouse, and tap the shoulder of a dozing keeper. Her trunk is remarkable, but still cannot unlatch the door of her tumble-down domain. Circling Stella's legs are long ago scars from the chains she wore as a youth, her bracelets, she called them. When she worked at the famous circus, Stella had to balance on a pedestal for her most difficult trick. One day, she fell off and injured her foot. When she went lame and lagged behind the other elephants, the circus sold her to Mac. Stella's foot never healed completely. She limps. You know what limping is? Like when you walk, but you can't walk, your leg hurts. She limps when she walks, and sometimes her foot gets, go very quick, infected when she stands in one place for too long. Last winter, Stella's foot swelled to twice the normal size. She had a fever, and she lay on the damp, cold floor of the domain for 5 days. They were very long days. Even now, I'm not sure she's completely better. She never complains, though, so it's hard to know. At the Big Top Mall, no one bothers with iron shackles. A bristly rope tied to a bolt in the floor is all that's required. They think I'm too old to cause trouble, Stella says. Old age, she said, is a powerful disguise. So real quick, we're going to do something else. Guys, that's all the One and Only Ivan we're going to read today, but come back tomorrow because we will read more.